All right, welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. So listen, this thing gets weirder and weirder. So now information has come out that Kevin O. Smith, otherwise dubbed the Mubbe cult pastor, who recently passed away in a car accident on his way while being transferred from Montego Bay to Kingston to be officially charged with double murder, mind you, along with other serious charges like illegal possession of a firearm, etc., etc. That guy was also a registered sex offender in Canada. Now, the information surrounding him being a registered sex offender in Canada is suddenly all over the place. But the funny thing is, one of our subscribers said, SouFlo, I don't know why they think this man is a good man. Wait till it comes out who he was and why he ran away and left Canada. Remember when we first started doing videos on him? I said I'm a words person, so I listen to when somebody speaks. And I heard him prophesying, fake prophesying, we know now. And he was talking about how he traveled to this part of Africa and that part of Europe. And he messed up and said, they stamped my Canadian passport. And I said, oh, so he's from Canada. Because the only way you can have a Canadian passport, you have to be locked in. Either you are a permanent resident or you're a citizen of Canada. That's how you get a passport, right? Uh, Turns out that that subscriber was absolutely right. I didn't pay any attention to it when they said it because I asked them to elaborate and they did not. Well, this is way before all this stuff happened. And now we see. So this tells me that other people knew about this but kept it hush hush and under the rug. So far, I've dug up some information about the Canadian registry and I've been asking questions online. I'm getting to know that there is no public sex offenders registry in Canada. So, right now we're beating down Jamaica and we're saying Jamaica needs a public sex offenders registry where the citizens of Jamaica can look online and see who is registered and make sure that these people are, if they're in their community, that they keep an eye on them so they don't repeat offend in their community. Okay. In Canada, only the police can access their sex offenders registry. So they have one, but only the police can access it. And the police can only access it while using the information for official police business. The police cannot access it and make that information public to the people. That's how it's done in Canada. Now, one of the video clips of Kevin O. Smith that we showed where he was spinning and he was prophesying and preaching and people were falling all over the place, that video we have confirmed to be taken from London, England, or Tooting in London, England. And he visited there and held a ceremony there. He was a guest of ceremony there. Everybody waited for this miracle worker, this God gifted individual, the coming of Christ kind of person who is known to perform marvelous miracles. The article in The Sun from the UK described it as a frenzy scene, as a whole bunch of people gathered up all their sick family members and gathered up all their friends and they packed the venue hoping to be touched and healed by Kevin Smith. Now, this is after he left Canada and came to Jamaica. He was able to fly from Jamaica into the UK, even as a registered sex offender in Canada. So I went looking for more information. Can a sex offender enter the UK? A registered convicted sex offender, can they enter the UK? Well, I got to find out also that the UK does not even have a national database for sex offenders. The UK has what's called Sarah's Law. Under Sarah's Law, they can warn certain people in certain neighborhoods about certain persons who has moved into the neighborhood if they see things looking funny. But as far as plastering their face so everybody could see it, they cannot do that. And as far as putting them on a website where the public can access it and see, they cannot do that. So shout out to the United States of America for that, because they absolutely do that here. If you are a sex offender in the United States of America, you will go on the registry. You will be ordered to report. Some people are once a week, some are twice a month, some are once a month. You have to check in physically. You are also under what is called community watch when you're out. You're not allowed to reside within a certain distance of a school. You're not allowed to reside within a certain distance of a park or anywhere that children gather. Even if your crime had nothing to do with children, sex offender can be someone who committed that act against another person who is an adult. You are still a victimizer in the eyes of the law, and they want to keep you away from children. On the sex offenders registry in the US, it also lists exactly what the sex offenders charge is, when they committed it, when they were caught and tried in the system, how much time they were given, when they were released. It gives every detail. So it's highly puzzling that the United Kingdom and Canada, two quote unquote advanced first world countries, do not have this in place. And it was because they both don't have this in place, and Jamaica does not have it in place, why Kevin was able to go from Canada to Jamaica to the UK and so on. Now, when asked, can you enter the UK if you are a convicted sex offender? The answer is there are no laws that state that you cannot. However, in order to enter, you would have to lie. You would have to tell a lie on the paperwork that you fill out when you're going in. You know the paperwork where they ask you, have you ever been convicted of a crime? Are you a convicted felon? What is it you were convicted for? Do you have anything to declare? Did you pack your own bags? Are you traveling with any knives, guns, corrosive liquids, etc., etc.? You would have to lie on the entry form. So obviously he lied on the entry form, and he got into the UK and got into other countries that he went to. Now, it's crazy because to see what happened kind of looks like people knew about this in Jamaica. People in positions of power must have known about this in Jamaica before, and they swept it under the rug. Now, this man's lifestyle in Jamaica was no small lifestyle. You're talking about a brand new X6 BMW. I'm getting the details. A brand new X6 BMW. You're talking about a 500,000 pound mansion with swimming pools and everything. You're talking about him having the power to command young boys to be by his side 24/7, which was creepy. You're talking about him picking one particular young boy to walk everywhere with him and even hold the umbrella over his head, even if he was in the pool or he was in the shower or he was anywhere else. In Jamaica, it started getting out that he was molesting or having relations with young men. Well, the first thing we noticed when this all happened was the LGBTQ flag that was hanging in his church of some sorts. Now, some of these people were naive and probably thought that this was a rainbow. Nobody questioned why this successful pastor, leader, did not have a wife, but kept all these men and young men around him. I've watched him preach, I've listened to his ceremony just after all this has happened, and there is an underlined hate towards women, where he used phrases like "you're making up your face," like when pum pum don't have any use. When does pum pum not have any use? This is referring to the female genitalia being useless. It is so ugly, it's useless. It's wrecked. And he preaches these ceremonies out loud in a congregation filled with majority women. And they gravitate towards him anyways, regardless. You know, it's crazy to see that he was actually allowed to enter, to prosper on the island of Jamaica. And now everybody is acting like, oh my God, we didn't know. This is all surprising. I don't think this is surprising. There's an article out. Nationwide News is who we took ours from. But of course, it is also now in the Gleaner, Loop, Star, all the other news entities that carries this news. All right, so after Nationwide printed it, it was printed also in the Jamaica Star. And the article in the Jamaica Star says the cult pastor was convicted for sexual assault of a man in Canada. A man. All right. So the suspicions aren't far about him canoodling and fadagling with men and boys in Jamaica. The article actually says, and this was printed October 26th of 2021. Today is October 27th. Kevin O. Smith, the deceased pastor of the Pathway International Kingston Restoration Ministries, was convicted in Canada in 2007 for the sexual assault of a 21-year-old male. The police have confirmed this information now. However, Deputy Commissioner of Police Fitz Bailey could not immediately say whether Smith was deported to Jamaica or he left Canada on his own will. Speaking earlier during the recording of a current affairs podcast produced by the Gleaner, Director of Public Prosecution Paula Llewellyn said that Smith's antecedent was a part of the case file for the deceased pastor, whatever that means. Smith was convicted on November 5th of 2007 on one count of assault and served 6 months in prison in the UK. Probation orders for up to 10 years were also made. Now, probation orders for up to 10 years were also made. If this happened in November of 2007, 10 years later would be 2017. Okay, even if we took it to 2018, we're in 2021, so he would have been off of that probation. I don't know how they do it in Canada, but I know that in the US, if your probationary period is still running and you are not checking in monthly or weekly or however you are ordered to check in, you are immediately, after you miss the first check-in, you are immediately put on a wanted list. You are a wanted fugitive that has absconded, and the law is after you to find you. I don't know if it's different in Canada where they put you on 10 years probation, but you're allowed to travel. In the US, you would not be allowed to travel. You have to go through great lengths to get some to get some permission to travel, move from the residency that had been established on record to a new residency. This man was able to leave the country. And we now know why he never went back. He was convicted November 5th, 2007. and he did serve 6 months in prison with a probation ordered for 10 years. He died in a car crash in Linstead, which we all know, while being escorted by the police to get to face his official charges. That's what the news said. I don't have any more to say on this. Leave your comments in the comment section below. But this is heights of slackness, and y'all know that. Couple of comments here from other people though. One person is called The Saint, and The Saint says there are going to be a bunch of stories about sex involving women, men, and probably children. That reason that was not out yet is because some people are embarrassed to talk. But it happened to them in that church. Plain Talk says, I once heard in a movie that it is better to be caught with a dead girl than a live boy. What is the name of the movie? I think Clint Eastwood is in the movie. Plain Talk also says, only 6 months for sexual assault? Man, Canada is kind of lenient, aren't they? And Marden Whitler said, what all dirty linen and skeleton in the closet that will ultimately be revealed in due time. Seems that the deceased is another wolf in sheep's clothing, so no one should be totally surprised at any card that is played after this. I stand with that comment. There will be more to come. And like the other person said, some of these people are just ashamed to talk because they were hoodwinked, bamboozled, swindled, and corrupted. I'll leave it right here. Leave your comments in the comment section below, and I'll catch you on the next video. It's SouFLoTV. I'm out. Peace.